What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to episode 70 of All Hail the King. In today's episode, we'll be featuring the Hyperion Alternate Costume in his Generalist class. As always, I set up this video in the From the Helicarrier podcast last Tuesday, and for those of you who missed it, I'll provide a link in the description below. Make sure to check out the podcast each week for all sorts of news on Marvel Avengers Alliance. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the action. We have 3 different team-ups for you for this video, and the first is going to be Hyperion, along with Bruiser Iron Fist. First of all, by the way, I had trouble with my recording program, and yes, I mean the new one I was using, because as many of you know, I mentioned my older program stopped working a while back. So it was just another setback, but fortunately we were able to get more footage for this video. I had to trick Fraps into recording OBS for anyone who knows what that means. But basically that's why the quality is slightly different. By the way, if any of you have suggestions for a program that's reasonably priced, then please let me know in the comment section below. But for now, this is always going to be my fallback when all other alternatives don't work. Now switching back to talking about the actual team-up and this alternate costume, one of the things I noticed is I had very long matches. Not to say that that isn't typical, or hasn't happened a lot more recently. Seemingly every time I go away from my main team up, which usually revolves around the amazing Spider-Woman, I end up having longer matches. But I still can't pinpoint exactly what's causing it. It may be the fact that I haven't upgraded my armory in quite a while, and perhaps I'm facing agents that have a much higher bonus. First of all, I rather upgrade after 1 or 2 seasons. And secondly, I hate to upgrade just before a new spec op, so I'm just going to wait it out. I haven't yet begun my rush to 2K rating, but we'll see what happens when I start. Right now I'm hovering around 1700. But just to let you know about this first team up, we are using Iron Fist of course for combo breaker, though it isn't stopping Ragnarok'em Sock'em. Also, he of course has a heal, and applies Rising Up buffs. With those, usually Hyperion's going to do a lot of damage, especially with his level 9. But this enemy team hardly takes any damage, and that's actually been happening with a lot of teams I've been facing. Mayday Parker, however, will destroy pretty much anyone I see, so I guess I'm just spoiled. Speaking of her, by the way, I was told about a pretty awesome team up that we're going to use in a future Team Spotlight video, and I do think you're all going to like it. Other than that, we do have another suggested team that we're going to use in the next Adamantium Process episode, and we have an awesome new graphic for that as well. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about a few other things as we go through these ridiculously long battles, and that's just how these first 2 teams worked out. Because of the way they worked, or how slow they were to work, the final team up is by far my favorite and most suggested out of the 3. Just to get into a few problems with this first team, well, there's quite a few unarmed attacks. So you may want to bring in a blaster safeguard agent or some way to stagger the opponent. Outside of that, we just weren't doing that much damage. And part of it could be our opponents, but like I said, a Mayday Victor or Mayday Magneto team typically doesn't have any trouble dealing damage. Now the good news is right now, our level 9 with Hyperion should at least take out the agent and Null. But before I could even say it, Null is taken out by a combo breaker, so Hubbled adds their agent to the KO list. You would think that just having Kurth left would be fairly quick, but they've been getting incredible cower procs, and she's going to actually be somewhat difficult to finish off. The other problem is, our own teammates are going to do way more damage to us than we're going to do to her. Now I'm sorry, but I can't help but think how the Elite EISO on his Bruiser class instead would have been a much better fit. We would be absorbing energy and dealing so much more damage overall. In my opinion, it's just way more useful than the Generalist. I actually saw some agents talking about the Elite EISO being overhyped, and I have to disagree. It's incredible. I don't know how anyone could think differently. It can turn any bruiser into a powerhouse, and the absorb energy is annoying as well. Then when paired up with a protector like Hyperion, it just reaches its max potential. Don't get me wrong though, he's not the most resilient tank at all. If you want to see a really insane protector, check out my Colossus video if you haven't already. And like I said, we'll be doing more on that character soon. As for Kurth, she's taken on an entire team for way longer than she should. But we're just trying to get her down to near fatal range. Right after her turn, I'm hoping that Hyperion can finally finish this grueling match. Honestly, these battles have taken a lot out of me today. I'm hating PvP. But with an atomic vision, near fatal procs, and that's the end of the enemy Kurth. So moving on to our next slow team, it's Angel and Hyperion. It sounded good at first, but it has some problems as well. It actually seems similar to the last team. First of all, it had a difficult time finishing off an enemy team. Then again, this guy's pretty stacked on HP. So all in all, this is going to be a pretty exciting, well-fought win. If we win. But the basic thought was, with Angel, we can give rising up buffs. We also can give an extra turn to our teammates, which on paper I thought would help out Hyperion. There are two drawbacks though. Hyperion does already have tactical tendency. And secondly, at this point right now, I'm not a big fan of having a hero skip his turn. Giving the enemy 2 turns in a row is almost like too much. It used to not matter as much, but right now it seems like a big deal. Oh, and right here you see we get an early opportunity at a solar strike and tactical tendency. So we would end up getting an extra turn anyways, without having to lose Angels. Still no, not saying that this team isn't good. If we pull off this win, it's going to be pretty impressive. Right now, Red Hulk has become very dangerous to our team, after that bulwark especially. But the Gamma Bomb isn't going to help us either. Right away, I feel like we have to use Fire Tornado, and we're going to take Absorb Energy, the super version, and it leaves us barely alive. Following that, I suppose we'll use the Blackest Void, and kiss our agent goodbye. Then the enemy Pestilence is going to use Momentary Advantage. Luckily that doesn't do anything, since we got the Fire Tornado off. He also misses our Hyperion. So there's Angel skipping his turn. And now you can kind of see how it's just way too much to deal with. It had me pretty scared. However, once it makes it back to Hyperion's turn, finally he's going to do some actual damage. He one-shots Beast with a huge hit. And then after that, we do have a bit of a dilemma. But ultimately, we decide to use our level 2 on Red Hulk. So here's an Atomic Vision, but it unfortunately misses. And so next, we'll just use our level 1, which maybe we should have tried first. Alright, well, both of the enemies are close to 50%, with the agent down a little bit more after that strike. Now let's see what the enemy Red Hulk does on his next turn. First of all, Exhausted saves us once again, and his Searing Smash fortunately misses, but so does our counter. After that, we know our agent's going to die, and then with Angel's turn, we're going to use his quick action Rapture, followed by, I believe, our level 9 to heal. Oh, but actually before that, we'll use his Generalist class ability Long Haul to remove all debuffs. Then a Rapture on the enemy agent, and following that, we'll use his level 9 to heal back Hyperion's HP. This is going to nearly top him up to full, and it restores stamina as well. Next, the enemy agent uses Momentary Advantage and a heal himself, followed by Fire Tornado. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate. We had him so close to death. We even miss our Fists of Fusion. Fortunately, after he fires a Black Roscoe, he takes bleeding. This leaves him at 35 HP, so once again, an absolute heartbreaker. Fortunately, his Blackest Void won't remove our buffs on Hyperion, and with his attack, we'll once again go for Atomic Vision. Unbelievably, it misses. At least our follow-up hits, but that's going to leave Red Hulk alive as well. So yeah, luck is just really killing us in our PvP battles today. The good news is we are going to win this by the looks of it, and it is an impressive win like I said. Still though, I have learned quite a bit about the Generalist Hyperion. Now I did not, and certainly still do not prefer this costume over the Bruiser version, and by using it today, I've only seen that the Bruiser costume is that much better. So yeah, don't let this next battle completely fool you, but it is my favorite, at least out of the three I used today. In this match, we're going to use Hyperion and Heimdall. And Heimdall has a few amazing benefits that really work well with Hyperion. First of all, Heimdall has many ways to negate enemy attacks. He also has Farsight, which says most enemy attacks cannot be stealthy, and that's great with a protector. Then of course his level 9 is going to give every buff, or all the important ones that really help out Finest Hour. Also, by the way, he has Staggered on his level 6, and you can make it Catastrophic. So yeah, it's just an excellent team up. And by the way, Rocket Raccoon didn't last long. This match is actually going to be a very fast win. And with my agent, we did get to use the Hailstorm. We'll follow that up by using the Grace Note on the enemy agent. He does have the Covert EISO, but Farsight stops it, and probably stops his Grace Note as well. So yeah, that was pretty beast, and we knock him out with a 21k crit. After that, we'll use Ho Fund on Spider-Man Noir, and that's already the end of the match, and it's going to bring us to the end of this video. If you want to see more of this team, I can definitely show it. I'd be happy to. But just let me know in the comment section below. Also, please leave a like and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.